Yeah.
We're ready.
Got this. Nailed it. Ready when you are. Okay. Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk podcast. I am Josh Call, and at the other end of the line is David Nichols. Hello, Dave.
Hello. Hello from Asia.
Oh, hello, Asia.
Hello.
This is Europe speaking.
Ooh.
Oh, we've never done Europe. I've never called myself Europe before.
Well, you've got to get it in now while you can you? Can't you?
Yeah, representing.
How are you? How's life? How's football?
Oh, football. I mean, it's been just a hell of a very busy week, 2 weeks at work. And then, in the midst of that, Spurs just go
Spurs kicked
crazy.
Off, didn't they? Yeah.
And I haven't really had time to kind of digest it all because I've been so busy with other stuff. So this is kind of my chance to actually kind of understand what's going on. Maybe you can let me know what's happened. Has there been anything in the news this week?
Oh, well, yeah, just a few things here and there. I mean, where shall we start? Where shall we start? Pochettino's gone. Let's start there. Start at the beginning.
What? So I've been thinking about this, and I've had an analogy rattling around in my head, and I thought I'd verbalise it now, see if it makes sense. So there's been a lot of kind of discussion around Pochettino going. A lot of people been upset about it, and Mourinho in. So here's my analogy, okay? Pochettino is the girlfriend that your friends and family love. He's great with your nieces and nephews and treats you right, and they keep asking you when you get married, but you just know something's missing in that relationship. She wanted you, she wanted you to commit, buy a house together a few years back, but you didn't buy anything. And since then, there's been an issue that's lingered on. It's always brought up in arguments. It's like, yeah, but you didn't buy that with me 2 years ago. She took you on a little European break in the summer. Just before last summer, and it was great. Even though the last night was marred a little bit because some bigger boys from Liverpool stayed at your hotel and made a bit of a scene and ruined it for you. But now, and so you dumped them. You dumped your girlfriend, your friends and family love, and that's the analogy for that is the fact that it seems like Spurs fans are upset, but I think in their heart of hearts know that this last year has been really a bit of a slog and. But everybody else doesn't. The other fans haven't really felt that. But our league form has been awful, and obviously then you have Champions League in it.
But to carry on that analogy, you've now got a girlfriend who you know is going to leave you toxic and horrible in 3 years' time.
Oh, okay, yes. So the Mourinho side of analogy is that you've now this fiery, experienced woman that your friends and family really can't see a future with. She's tried to explain to friends and family, but they've got nothing to worry about. Her partying days are over. She's changed. She's got a caring side. But to be honest, you don't care. You don't give a shit because you've been obsessing over this woman. You've been stalking her on Instagram. You've been dreaming of her, longing for her. And you know there's going to be some heated arguments along the way, but the make-up sex is going to be majestic. So that is what's happened, all right?
Right. So how do you feel about it all?
A little bit excited.
Yeah.
A little bit nervous.
Well, because obviously I texted you when it happened. I was like, well, actually, first off, I'll openly admit, some of my friends in London text me and were like, oh, Pochettino's now odds-on favourite to be sacked, like next manager to leave his job. I was like, no, can't see it happening. I just don't see Levy being that sort of manager. Literally 5 minutes later, he's sacked. He's done. He's gone. And then it was like, yeah, apparently Mourinho's going to replace him. No, I can't see Levy doing that. Like 12 hours later, Mourinho was appointed by Levy. So I'll openly admit, I'm the worst football podcast host in the world. I know nothing about football. So, but how did it make you feel as a fan, Josh? Because we were texting and you were just happy it wasn't Eddie Howe. That was my understanding.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I think Pochettino had been led down this path, but there really was no other way out. The fact that we hadn't backed him in the transfer market a couple of years back, or even getting rid of players who are now causing a bit of fuss, there was really, it felt like there was only one option was to get rid of him at this point in time because it was just going to be such a long slog to get back to a point, and I think it was just going to get worse and worse and worse. So I can understand why we've sacked him. I don't think it should have got to this point. It's unfortunate it's got to this point, and I think probably Levy takes the blame there. But if he's running a massive club and he's got a lot of pressure to do what he thinks best, Mourinho in is exciting, and is also a bit nerve-wracking because there may be some real peaks of joy along the way, but there will be some anger along the way. And I've never really felt much anger at all towards Pochettino. It's always been, this has been fantastic, and he's built us up. We've done better. We haven't done the best. We haven't won a trophy, but it's always been very enjoyable. He's been an absolute class act along the way, so it's always been an enjoyable experience. The journey's been great. I can imagine the journey here is going to be a little bit bumpy, but there may be some
a little bit. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't understand
your point of view. Yeah.
Why any big club would touch Mourinho anymore. I just don't get it. Like, I don't, and I am calling Tottenham a big club, so you can note that down.
No, we are definitely.
I think I just don't. It's not worth it for what he wins. I just honestly look at all the clubs he's left, and it's just toxicity and detritus everywhere.
It has been on a sliding scale, but I think this situation is, I think, would say is slightly different. I'd say he's got a lot less pressure on him at this club. Every other club he's managed, I feel like there's been an expectation he'll win the league. He should win the league.
Yeah,
because of the size of the club. I mean, a few years back, Spurs would never got Mourinho, but we've been on an upward trajectory. He's been on a downward trajectory. We've met in the middle, and we're probably.
Yeah, but you don't want to be that club, though, do you? You don't want to be the club that's picking up a manager on a downward trajectory because he's going to keep going down.
But he's still high. He's not as high as he once was. But I think, as I said, it's different this time because there isn't the full pressure to win the league, and I think it is a much kinder situation. I think the Man United situation, it just felt like it was never right for any parties. I mean, and the fact he still lived in a hotel for all that time, I don't think he ever really bought into it. He can live and work like in London. He's got a side is underachieving, and that. I think almost any change of manager at this point would have sort of improvement because it's just an underachieving side. It's a great situation for a new manager to come into. He's bringing lots of his own backroom staff. It seems like we're getting more and more people. I mean, I don't know. There'll be a French equivalent of this podcast where one of the hosts is a Lille fan and has gone, "What the hell is happening?"
Yeah.
My backroom staff has gone. Yeah.
I mean, it's just. Is it a case, or do you? Well, as a Spurs fan, I'll ask you this: do you think Daniel Levy is going to be selling the club soon? And if so, has he brought Mourinho in because he wants his tenure to end in a trophy of some description?
So I think a sale is probably, once you've built the stadium, you've got all that infrastructure there, you've set it up, and I think that yes, a sale can be on the cards. I mean, I suppose it might be really imminent, and that might be the decision from a new owner. I mean, it might be really imminent, and they want that person. But yeah, I think personally, I think it's to do with new ownership. I think that Levy is just really seeking that. He wants, one, Tottenham and absolute box office. The amount of people turned up to his press conference, the amount of people I've views on YouTube for his first training session behind the scenes was in the millions. He has absolutely taken us on another kind of worldwide element. And all the time we've got an Amazon documentary being filmed, which is intriguing.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I think I think Levy wants that final trophy push, and it could be the FA Cup this season and then gone. But
so what do you think about the whole Mourinho circus that comes with him? Because Poch didn't have that. He didn't have the big circus and everything like that. And you've just mentioned it's all these views and all that. That brings pressure. And you said that there isn't pressure here at the club at Spurs. So
I think there's less pressure at the club because of the expectation. I don't think Levy would want, you need to win me the league. Every other club would have gone, you need to win me the league. I think it would be a nice to have. I think it would be, you need to win me a trophy, and then work backwards from that, what that actually entails. But the circus, there is a weird fascination the English media have with Mourinho, isn't it?
I don't get it. Yeah, it is weird. It's so weird.
It is. It's like this drug that they're craving. They just want him back so they can just tap into. I think it's because it does. It probably because it sells papers. It gets clicks. It is a blockbuster manager that probably just generates advertising revenue because people want to read about it. So that's probably why. But there is a fascination there which I don't particularly enjoy. I'm not sure Levy will particularly enjoy. But I think they've become blinded by a trophy now because it's just been going on and on and on.
So and then it's going to be quite a Tottenham heavy podcast, obviously, with all the news that's happened. So what do you think about it, like Mourinho himself coming out saying, I'm not going to make the same mistakes I did at Man United, and I'm not going to make those mistakes that I did at Real Madrid? And Do you believe it, or do you just think no? He'll do whatever he needs to do to win a trophy, and if he pisses people off along the way, then he pisses people off along the way. Is he going to change?
You can temper down behaviours, and you can learn how to handle the media outwardly, but ultimately, I think when you get to, what's Mourinho got to be around 50 odd? You can't change personality. Then I think you really can't change personality beyond the point, unless a real kind of a major life event happens. Which getting a new job really isn't a major life event, and unless there's been some form of thing that happens in the last year which has made him change completely, he will be that same person. He'll be able to. He's got, I think, a new kind of media team around him. He's going to kind of temper that, and outwardly we may see something different, but he's ultimately going to be the same. Because if he's not the same, he won't achieve the same results.
Yeah, very true. I mean, he obviously has made some changes as well with the backroom staff. Rio Ferreira. This is the first job where the Rio Ferreira hasn't been his assistant from the start, I think.
Yeah,
because Rio Ferreira followed him to Manchester, and then left. But yeah,
where is he?
What, Rio Ferreira? I don't know where he is.
Yeah. He's in Qatar.
Oh, obviously. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. God.
Yeah. Well, I wonder why he went there for football.
Yeah, for the up and coming amazing World Cup they're going to host. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know too much about the new assistant, other than everyone's raving about him. He's the best upcoming coach in Europe, apparently. So
yeah, and then also the sporting director at Lille, Luis Campos, who was also sporting director at Monaco, has been he's apparently responsible for getting in Mbappe, Fabinho, Bernardo Silva, and so it's kind of like, well, if you do that, then that does seem like it's setting us up for success. But it's.
Do you think it is a stopgap with Mourinho for then the new assistant to eventually take over? I don't know. I don't think he's a manager, is he? He did a temporary job at Lille when someone got sacked and did pretty well. But
I would say that this is a kind of let's get some success in there, because I think obviously there's the side of things where the players within the club are there on that. I think Levy believes that the players there can achieve success with the right manager. A few tweaks need to be made. Obviously, defence is absolute shambles, but the likes of Kane, Ali, Son, I think they need that success, and they need to have that manager in they could believe that they could win it. I felt it as before the West Ham match. Before, I felt so confident Jose Mourinho will just be able to get a win. And so that, if I'm feeling that, well, yeah. But I feel there's that confidence of that winning mentality that he can still, and then before the wheels come off in a couple of years' time, then someone else will be in. But yeah, it's that winning mentality that's going to breed is key for me. And we can achieve something with the players we've got, I think. So
you think it'll be a massive lift? You're not worried that he's been not a checkbook manager, because he has obviously had success, but he has bought players everywhere he's had success. He's not in.
Yeah, and I think.
Do you think Levy will pay out, or do you reckon it'll be when he's come out and said he's happy with the squad he's got, he doesn't need to buy new players?
Oh, well, he does need to buy new players, unless. Well, it'd be interesting to see the impact he can have on the outward players. Christian Eriksen, I think he's actually given up on being a footballer. I think he must be such a low ebb mentally, because I'm not sure it's a choice now, because he played pretty poor for Denmark as well. I think he's just absolutely devoid of all confidence and
he scored 2 goals for Denmark, didn't he?
Yeah, but he wasn't performing well with it.
Ah, right.
But. Yeah, so that's a guy. But if he can get players like Alderweireld and Vertonghen to re-sign if he wants them, then that obviously negates spending. But a lot of fans seem to care about the finances. Like, if maybe Levy is keen, we spent a fair chunk of money. This is probably our highest ever spend in a summer that's just gone. Financially, we should be in a better position going forward now. We've just given Mourinho the huge contract he's on.
Yeah.
So I think that don't worry that maybe I suppose their worry will be that Levy won't buy, Mourinho wants to buy, and it will cause a rift. But if Mourinho wants to buy and Levy wants to buy, don't worry about the debt at the club or the profit and loss account. Just be excited for what's going to happen. I'd say it's going to be a ride. It will be a blip in the history of Spurs. It might be great. It might be disastrous. But I think with the foundations there for Spurs to be a force for however many years to come, regardless if there's a Mourinho 2 years which are horrific, but they might be fantastic.
Yeah, it's fair. It's interesting to hear, because I know there's a lot of Tottenham fans that don't share the optimism of Mourinho.
Yeah, I
or
think
the
I'm
fact
probably
that
on the more positive side of things.
I think you are, yeah. Like, so my father-in-law, who is over visiting at the moment, and my brother-in-law back in the UK are both big Spurs fans, and they weren't really happy with the Mourinho appointment. Especially my father-in-law, he just didn't want any of that toxicity, and that's all he thinks about when he hears about Mourinho now. It's not the winning mentality, it's the toxicity, how the club is left once Mourinho's gone. And it's interesting to get your view on it, that the winning mentality is sort of overruling the toxicity that will probably eventually come into the club. Is that right to say?
I think it's probably, I'm probably being a little bit kind of rose tinted. I'm taking gulps of the winning mentality and sips of the toxicity. I'm kind of like playing it down in my head, but it doesn't always have to end like that. I think that we're very much blinded by the recency bias of how Mourinho was with Man United. I mean, even going back to your old club, I don't think the situations haven't been quite right for him. Going to United, I mean, that's just a horrible job. Going back to Chelsea, going back to a club, was that right? I think that this, for me, I don't know, I might be just kind of being completely ignorant to it, but it seems like this is just a better situation for him.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just strange to hear, because I didn't think Pochettino would have got sacked. I didn't think Levy would have gone for someone like Mourinho. When Mourinho was linked to Man United, I didn't want him because of what happens in terms of his personality and the atmosphere he leaves at the club, and we're in turmoil anyway. I guess Spurs is probably a little bit more settled than Man United in terms of owners and generally players, and you sort of know the squad. But I don't know. I just can't. It's maybe because I've been going back to the analogy that you said before. I've been tainted by that lover, so.
Yeah,
I can only see the negative side of it. But yeah, all in all, it is very good to have him back in the Premier League, because he is a showman. It is an entertainment industry, and he does entertain. So, I hope he does well enough to get Tottenham like 6th and Man United finish 5th. How about
that? I'll take it. No, I'll take it. Oh well, right. Let's move on from that. I'm sure we'll pick up Mourinho again as we get to reviews.
Yeah, I think we will. And I'm going to sort of interject in what we normally go through in terms of running order, because I think now would be a very good time to do the Twitter poll that you put out, because we're talking about manager sackings. So take it away, Josh.
So obviously last night we had, after yesterday's football, we had Everton losing, West Ham losing, Arsenal somehow managing to draw, and Watford losing, and all 4 of those managers are up against it. So Marcus Silva, Manuel Pellegrini, Unai Emery, Quique Sanchez-Flores, who will be the next manager to be sacked? And I said probably by the morning. So I'll put that out to a vote. And Dave, who did you vote for?
I went Pellegrini.
I went Marcus Silva.
I was very torn between Pellegrini and Silva, but I did go for Pellegrini. I just think the whole West Ham way and stuff like that is going to catch up with him, and ultimately he is responsible for signing Roberto. So,
oh wow, yeah. Okay, so the winner was so most of our voters thought Manuel Pellegrini with 43%, tied Marcus Silva and Unai Emery on 26%, and Quique Sanchez-Flores on 5%. Now the 5% for Sanchez-Flores, is that because Watford fans just given up and gone, you know what, just kill us now, because we changing managers won't change a thing. I've said on the podcast previously, Watford could change a manager, and A, it would make a difference, and B, no one would notice. It's just, they're just in a horrible state. But as you said previously, it's all is not lost. They just need to win a few games, and they could be out of it.
Yeah, it's mental. It's absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Can I just point something out again? I don't know if it's Asia. My poll adds up to 101% again. I've got 26, 43, 26 and 6. How is that possible?
Which is weird, because the stereotype is that Asians are very good at maths.
Yeah, so just Twitter, sort it out. Come on.
But in the cold, I mean, this is almost a kind of how angry are your other fans. So I think West Ham fans are probably pretty angry. Everton fans pretty angry. I mean, everyone's got to be pretty angry, haven't they?
Yeah.
But I would say I still back Marco Silva to be gone by the time this podcast is out. I would not be surprised if we have Marco Silva out. The only thing that's saving that guy is a lack of options, but to get in, and their next run of like 5-6 games. Like, you don't want a new manager coming into that.
And it's The problem I get to see now with any manager being sacked is who on earth is out there, because it wouldn't surprise me if Pellegrini gets sacked from West Ham and West Ham go for Marco Silva.
Oh, West Ham. West Ham should twist straight away and get Rafa Benitez.
Oh, you reckon he's ready to come back this soon?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what Everton can't. Everton can't get Rafa Benitez because of Liverpool ties.
Yeah.
But West Ham definitely can, and West Ham can splash some money. I think he would be absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that would be very interesting. Yeah, that would be very good to see that.
Whereas odds-on favourite for the Everton, favourite for the Everton job is David Moyes, and so it's kind of like, oh god.
Oh, don't go back.
Yeah, Moyes, Hughes, Arteta are the top three.
Hughes, how is Mark Hughes in the top three? Oh, just no. Why doesn't he fuck off to Qatar for the money?
It's very true.
Yeah,
very true.
Anyway,
but I see us having some more managerial changes to discuss next week.
Are you saying we'll have managerial changes before the next game, like before the next round of fixtures, which is midweek? Oh no, it's Saturday, isn't it? Next Premier League games, midweek ones aren't happening.
Yeah, yeah. There's someone going to be set for next week for sure.
Okay, all right. Very interesting.
Right. Any more new? Obviously, we international break. We didn't pod last week. We had some obviously Euro 2020 qualifying, and that's all wrapped up from the playoffs now. We have Wales have qualified for their third major tournament. Wales, Gulf Madrid. Bale obviously in some hot water. It makes a change for an international player to prioritise international football, doesn't it? There's not too many around, especially when you play for such a big club.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it because he's just not playing for his club? But he is actually.
Yeah,
he's
normally when
a few games.
Yeah.
So
he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Did you see the Spanish newspaper Marca?
Yes.
They did their own one of it that said disrespectful, misguided, ungrateful.
So, yeah, I mean it was pretty stupid from him, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean he knew what was on the flag. I was going to try and give him some. A bit of leeway, but no, he definitely knowed. Finland. That's a terrible bit of English.
Finland qualifying for their first tournament.
Yeah, Team Pukki having a party.
Yeah,
good on them.
Absolutely. And obviously England qualify as well.
Yeah, and there's the potential for the Ireland v Northern Ireland playoff final.
Oh, is there?
There is a potential for that.
Goodness.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. But really, no one likes international qualifying, so. Let's not dwell on that. Did you see that? I think an ex-Tottenham player got arrested the other day. Jason Dozzell.
Jason Dozzell. Yeah, what did he do?
Driving under the influence of drugs. So, yeah.
Oh dear.
You can't have that pint. You smoke pot.
Yeah. He's from the glory days of when I just first started supporting Spurs. Actually, idiot. Absolute idiot. Don't do that, kids.
Anyone that does that is an idiot. I totally agree. Go on.
Thierry Henry, Montreal Impact manager.
Yeah, they're going to struggle.
Did you know who he's got at his disposal? He's got Bojan and Bakary Sagna at Montreal Impact.
Oh, I love a bit of Bojan. I used to love Bojan when he was at Barcelona, and then he ended up at Stoke, and everyone realised he's not actually that good.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Mental strain footballers under is ridiculous.
Yeah, I would agree. It wasn't too much other than obviously the Mourinho and Pochettino stuff was the big news. So
I had one more.
Oh yeah,
I had I remember you asked a couple of weeks ago that would we see Arsene Wenger in a job outside football? And he's literally a few days later took on a new role at FIFA, like chief of their global football development. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, Arsene.
I mean, that sounds like just a cushy little number, doesn't it?
Free money, doesn't it?
Free money.
Money. Yeah.
How's the football development going, Arsene? Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, they're all developing.
Yeah.
Tick.
I did not see. But yeah, I mean, it's just
nice.
a bit. It's just
we do impressions on here. Yeah.
Yeah. So other than news, I've got the gossip is that obviously Mourinho wants to get Zlatan in at Spurs.
Yeah. Take it. Tick. Done.
Yeah. Happy with that?
Yeah. I mean, we have no real backup for Harry Kane. We have Troy Parrott, obviously, but he's only 17. I think he'd do well from because the funny thing with people always say, Mauricio Pochettino very good at bringing through youth. He really wasn't. He really mismanaged youth players. He gave them chances, but so often, he would have play a couple of games and they'd be with the senior squad, and so dragged out of the under-23 squad, so not playing football. So Oliver Skipp, for example, or Troy Parrott, they go, right, you're on the bench for the first team, or you're with the squad and you don't quite make the bench. They don't play the under-23 match. Like, what's the benefit there? They're with the squad. It's not great, and he hasn't really brought too many players through in recent times. So I don't think that the youth development was actually Pochettino's strongest. And I think he was happy to put faith in younger players, but so was Mourinho through his career. I mean, didn't Rashford come through pretty strongly under?
It was under Van Gaal when he did the 4 goals in 4 games and basically qualified us for the Europa League. But yeah, I mean, Mourinho did play. I think those sort of stats are a little bit skewed because Pochettino has brought through youth players. Like, he gave loads of youth players their debut in the starting lineup, but like you say, it's when they're just put on the bench in the game's 2 minutes to go and they come on, which is what Mourinho did at United a lot.
Yeah.
So he called up the likes of Tuan Zabi, Fosu Mensah and people like that, and then just brought them on for the last minute of a game, which was over. So
yeah, but again, it's obviously Mourinho and Zlatan worked together previously. He is an absolute winner. He is a very viable alternative. We had obviously Llorente last year. He's exactly the same as that for me. Whether he'd be content with that kind of role, because I'm not sure he'd be physically capable. Obviously, he had ACL injury, was it? And has played in the USA. But I'd happily take him. Again, it is quite ludicrous how box office would come, and do we just are we completely sold out as a club? But
I mean that is. I will say that even as a United fan, a very good positive of Mourinho is the players he can attract. 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%. It's really good. But yeah, all right then. Have you got anything else for the news before we move on?
No, I have not. Let's move on to the quiz. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. It's quizzing time, right, Dave?
Yes.
Got your pen and paper at the ready?
I do. Here it is. See?
Okay, so Transfer Market, a lovely website I like to follow. Give them a follow. Very good for stats and transfers and all sorts of things. But they have a functionality where you can search for the most valuable 11. So I searched for most valuable 11 in the Premier League, but I made it a little bit difficult, Dave. I searched for most valuable 11 in the Premier League, excluding the top 6, and that is the kind of historical top 6 rather than the current top 6.
Oh my god!
So, in a 4-2-3-1 formation, can you name me the most valuable as in determined by their market value, the transfer market, not their transfer fees?
Oh, bloody hell, this is well hard.
So it's basically the best 11 for outside top 6. It's a kind of another way of talking about it, okay?
Okay, alright, okay.
And obviously there'll be clues along the way, don't shed a tear just yet.
Okay, goalkeeper.
So, there's a goalkeeper, yes.
That's the clue, is it? Don't shed a tear.
Yeah.
There's a goalkeeper. I'm going to go Rui Patricio.
No. Oh. Nice little guess, though, Dave.
Yeah, I thought that would have been okay.
This player moved some big money, actually.
Oh, okay. That has thrown me off somewhat. It's a goalkeeper that's moved for big money. Oh, Jordan Pickford.
Jordan Pickford. Tick.
Okay, so 4 at the back.
4 at the back, yep. And it's nicely balanced, actually. Left foot, right foot, left foot, centre back, right foot, centre back. Nice.
Okay. Outside the top 6, who's got Soyuncu from Leicester?
No, not Soyuncu. But
Johnny
shout
Evans.
out to him, having a cracking season at the moment. Both of them are, actually.
Yeah.
No, there are no Leicester centre backs.
Oh, Ben Chilwell.
Oh, yes.
Go for that. Okay.
Valued at 31.5 million is Ben Chilwell.
Nice.
I imagine he would move for a lot more than that because Chelsea are apparently interested, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
I like Ben Chilwell. He speaks very well. I can see him getting a media job after football, but obviously still a long time to go in his football career.
Yeah. Tyrone Mings.
No, that's a good shout, Dave.
He moved for a lot of money recently, didn't he?
Yes. There is a link though.
Nathan Ake was my other choice. Yeah. That was
yes,
my other one.
Nathan Ake. Do you rate Nathan Ake?
Do you know what? I do, but he's too small to be a centre back.
It's annoying, isn't it? If he was like 3-4 inches taller, I think he'd be a top 6 club.
It's harsh though because he's very good, and you shouldn't really. He still wins headers, he still makes the tackles, he still gets the box in. But it's that thing of you need your centre back to be over 6 foot, and I think he's dead on 6 foot. I think.
So we'll go for obviously Pickford, Chilwell, and Ake. Do you reckon they could go to top 6 side? I mean, Leicester may be on course to be a top side.
The one out of those three, I think Pickford would be the struggle, because I don't think moving to Everton has helped him. When it should have done, but I don't think it has. So
okay.
Okay, another centre back who is very good.
Young, good, but probably in a struggling side at the moment. Had a bit of a torrid time yesterday.
Diop, Issa Diop.
Yes, it's a Diop. Nice one, David.
Very good on Pro Evo and FIFA. For those that play that and want to sign him. Yep. Right-footed right back. It's going to be someone that probably gets assists. Ricardo Pereira, Leicester.
Ricardo Pereira, yeah. I mean, Spurs really should have signed him when they had a chance, and didn't. He's probably
what have we got now? Two holding. No, Trent Alexander-Arnold's probably the best.
Oh yes. Although it's a very different kettle of fish when he plays for England.
It is.
It's not quite the same because obviously he hasn't got Salah ahead of him occupying players.
Is it two holding mids?
Two holding mids. Yeah.
Okay.
One of them has more goals from outside the box than touches inside the box.
Ruben Neves. I love that stat. Yeah. Now you could put Moutinho alongside him.
You could, and probably one of. I mean, what a player! He had another storming game yesterday, and an absolute steal of what, 5 million they got him for.
Yeah,
crazy.
He was linked to Tottenham contract
for years. Oh yeah, he was a Levy stitch up for AVB. He wanted him and didn't get him. Yeah.
Okay, all right, but it's not him that's in the lineup.
No, it's not him that's in the lineup. No, this player got absolutely slated by Roy Keane the other day.
Oh my God. I'm not going to get that, but I know I can. I can picture Roy Keane going on about it.
He was asked, "What's this player not good at?" And he was like, "Where do you want me to start?" He can't. His positioning's all over the place. He doesn't track runners. He's lazy in possession or something. That's like blowing an egg, Roy.
Yeah,
Roy, I actually don't mind in the media now. He's toned himself down. He has actually. He constrains himself. Yeah.
I'm blanking that one. I've got to come.
All
back
right,
to
we'll leave it there. That's 6 players, isn't it?
Oh, can I just say one more name that I think I've got in it?
Yeah.
Wilfried Zaha. Where have you put him? Right wing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the wingers can swap. They can both.
But I didn't know if he might have been the centre forward because Palace have been playing him up through the middle.
You've got a centre forward in there. Right, we'll leave that there, and then we'll comment on how well working our team could do. Okay. We'll move on. We'll move to the reviews of this week's football. We've touched on it already, but we'll go to the Sergei Rebrov derby. We'll go to Spurs v West Ham.
Yes.
Wow.
What a game.
Yeah. Spurs' first away win in the league in almost a year.
Yeah. And I think the job of Mikel Antonio and Ogbonna scoring in the 96th minute may keep Pellegrini in the job, I think. Because there's still fight there. There's still fight.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, still got a dressing room, is he?
I think so. And it was such a good game. It was a very strange atmosphere because of the whole Mourinho thing and the fact that West Ham went 3-0 down at home. The fans fled out the stadium. Then Antonio scored, and everyone was like, "Oh my God!" And then it was a goal disallowed.
Wasn't it? He dug that out and smashed it.
Lovely finish. My father-in-law and I were like, "How has he hit that so hard, falling backwards? And it's not really up in the air."
Powered it, isn't it? Yeah.
And then Declan Rice got his goal disallowed, and rightly so. Yeah. And then Ogbonna in the 96th made it a little bit tetchy, but the full-time whistle went straight after that. So it was just a ding-dong battle is probably how I'd describe it. So what were your thoughts as the Tottenham fan? First game under Mourinho?
Well, I was out and about, so I didn't watch it live. I was out in London with a family, so I was on a family tour, doing some touristy stuff. But yeah, I must admit, I did get tetchy when I saw it flash up, going, "Oh God, they've scored! Oh, they scored again!" But I was like, "Surely the finals have got to go now." But watching it back, it seemed like the scoreline somewhat flatters West Ham a little bit there. But I think it's good for Mourinho to see that we are so fragile. In the last 20 minutes, we pretty much gave up, it seemed, and really took a foot off the gas. But yeah, I mean, Roberto is doing. We mentioned him earlier. He's playing a key part in getting Pellegrini sacked, isn't it? If Fabianski was still in between the sticks, if he wasn't injured, I think there'd be a lot less pressure on Pellegrini right now.
100%. Yeah. Well, I tweeted because I was watching the game. I tweeted during that game saying, "I think Roberto is the worst Premier League goalkeeper I can remember," and I said on par with Taibbi. Because
the only one I can remember in recent years, since we were doing this podcast, was remember Ben Hamer.
I would pick Ben Hamer over Roberto. I would pick Ben Hamer over Roberto. Like,
it's almost like Roberto's afraid of getting his hands hurt.
Yeah, he jumps out of the way of the ball. The first goal, Son Heung-min's goal, Son Heung-min hits it left-footed, and Roberto twisted his body and then sort of flapped his hands at it the wrong way. Where if he had just stood still, it would have hit him. He's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible.
For Tottenham's perspective, is there a more Mourinho player than Dele Alli? He is. He epitomises. I think he epitomises Mourinho on the pitch. He's hard-working, technically gifted, goal scorer, and an absolute bastard. He will thrive under Mourinho, I think.
He should thrive under Mourinho.
That lovely little lying down, no scoop, no look, heel scoop.
Yeah.
Secondary assist was just like, oh yes, he's back.
It was good. He tailed off a bit. He did tail off, but
yeah.
Well, the whole Tottenham team tailed off after.
Well, yeah. Then you bring Christian Eriksen on. You're like, oh, did Christian Eriksen touch the ball? I'm not actually sure he did.
That's true. Yeah, I can't remember that. So.
But Spurs have now won 4 in a row at London Stadium. West Ham's longest winning run there is 3 matches. So, but to be fair, we do have an unfair advantage because we get to play West Ham.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I hope Owen's listening.
Yeah, and all the other West Ham fans. Lovely to speak to you. Harry Kane, now 3rd top scorer of all time for Spurs, 6th top scorer for England, and 13th in the Premier League. Not bad for a 1 season under.
Yeah, is he? Well, there's been times this season where he's looked very, very average. So
yes, but as does the rest of the Spurs side.
Yeah.
He's scored a lot of goals for England, but albeit against lesser opposition. But he's looked a different player for England.
Like, you would think that he will definitely benefit from a fresh of breath air from a manager. So
yes.
But
yeah, and we're just having like a Dele Alli on form, and he's obviously been missing Christian Eriksen. So if he's playing Lucas Moura or something, just a little bit more zest in attack.
Yeah, very
and
true.
It showed yesterday. But
Jose Mourinho stat for you, or question? Well, I'll make it a question. How many opening games has he won at a new? Has he lost at a new club?
One or two?
It is one. No, it's one.
Oh, one.
And it was his first job with Benfica.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, he's
Not
won
bad.
every single opening game as manager at a new club.
Do love that new manager bounce.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Nice.
So yeah, West Ham may see themselves with a new manager of their own in the coming weeks. We'll move on. Theo Walcott derby.
Yeah.
Yes. Arsenal versus Southampton, and Arsenal honestly lucky to get anything out of this. Southampton should have wrapped this up.
Yes, it was. Well. Emery, I can't believe that Gazidis, whatever his name is, from the Arsenal board is coming out and being like, Emery's definitely the man to take us forward. Apparently, is it Gazidis that's still there? Or no, Kroenke, isn't it? Kroenke.
Yeah, big old Stan Kroenke. Yeah.
Stan Kroenke apparently met with all the players, and told the players that Emery's not going anywhere. That's not probably what the players wanted to hear. So
no, well, you could see it on Lacazette's face.
Yeah.
When Lacazette scores, I've never seen a home side snatching a late point to draw, obviously a late goal to draw. Lacazette seemed absolutely crestfallen that he'd kept Emery in a job for another week. That's the only thing I can put it down to. He's like, oh God,
what have I done?
Oh, what have I done? Emery's still going to be here. All right, move on, people. But Southampton had 21 shots to Arsenal's 12. They got outshot at home to a side battling relegation.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy, and it's really. I find this is what makes me. I find hard for Hasenhüttl, because there's been a few games like this where they've just turned off at the last minute and lost concentration.
That's kind of relegation.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing, isn't it? And a really missed chance to relieve some pressure for him. And Watford at home next, must win game. And to be honest with you, Arsenal's next game is away at Norwich, and we'll talk about them a bit later. But now we've got some centre backs back, they look a different kettle of fish. But a little shout to me. The game I like to play.
Hang on, what?
So James Ward-Prowse. Yeah, James Ward-Prowse obviously missed a penalty and scored, but I saw this from Flash Scores. I looked at it and I was like, missed penalty, James Ward-Prowse, say 70th minute, goal scored by James Ward-Prowse 70 or 71st minute. I was like, and I like to play a little game. I don't know if anybody else listen likes to play a little game. We go, oh, what's happened there? Is that a tap in straight away? He's gone out for a corner and he's just been so wanting that goal. He's got a goal from it, and it's a nice little game to play when you only have the stats in front of you. Similar, play a little game when I see red cards go through and you go, oh, what's happened there?
Yeah,
why has he got a red card?
One, I understand it, yeah, and you have to try and figure out what they've got red carded for. Is it 2 yellows? Is it a straight red, bad tackle, deliberate handball, goal line saving handball? That's the one I love to guess.
It gets a little bit easier when it's like, I don't know, a side's bit lost like 4-0 and there's a red card in like the last 10 minutes. You go, frustration.
Yeah.
Pure frustration. He's kicked out there, isn't he? And it's just a nice little game. Play those games, people. It's just a nice little time passer. All right.
Right. Moving on.
Benica Derby. Let's go for it.
Yeah, let's move. Let's go. So, the Eddie Howe caravan is falling off.
Eddie Howe. Oh my goodness. Will Bournemouth ever actually improve, or will they just stagnate under Eddie Howe?
He has improved them. Obviously, he's got them up the leagues.
Yes, yeah. But in their Premier League era, maybe I'm just misremembering. And but if you show me a Bournemouth from the first season in Premier League to now, is there that much difference? I don't.
Probably not. No. Probably not. It's yeah. Well, we both know our feelings about Eddie Howe. We're both similar feelings about Eddie Howe. So we don't need to talk about Eddie Howe. Let's talk about the game. We'll talk about Wolves. Wolves have gone quietly about because we've obviously, I think I criticised them early on the season, said that they're going to struggle a little bit, but they've actually, they got themselves into 5th now, and they've going well in Europa, so yeah, it's going quite well for them. I think they've run an unbeaten run of 8, I want to say. Yeah, it's something like that.
And we mentioned João Moutinho, shout out to him, but Adama Traore seems to be hitting some form, doesn't he? And I mentioned a couple of weeks back that he declared for Mali, but then he's also now been instead been called up by Spain. So I think it's been recognised that he's actually doing something good, and obviously changed his haircut to boot as well.
Yeah, he's added the end product to his game, which is always very helpful as a winger. It's one of those games as well. 2-0 up, Bournemouth went down to 10 men. Surely, if you're Nuno Espirito Santo, you're like, right, this is it. Go for the kill. Let's go and get the goals. But they didn't. Wolves didn't. They still created chances.
They made it very hard for themselves, didn't they?
Yeah,
Bournemouth
yeah.
It was a real game of 2 halves, this one. And Bournemouth, that Ake chance late on. It was, it could have been so different, couldn't it?
Because you think Wolves are now 5th with a goal difference of +2. That's the sort of game you'd think, let's go and improve that.
Yeah.
Over a half with that, like they're down to 10 men and we're already 2-0 up. Let's go and do it. But yeah, I like Wolves. I've predicted them to do pretty well this season. So. Do you know what I'd love with Wolves? I'd love Wolves to win the Europa League, even though we're in it. Like, if we don't win it, I want Wolves to win it. That'd be amazing. Okay. So it'd be great.
Watch this space. Yeah, they've got some talent there, so it's not a ridiculous shout out. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. Didn't really talk much about the game, but let's move on.
No, let's move on. Jesse Lingard derby, Brighton Leicester.
Yeah.
Oh, Leicester, Jamie Vardy here. So Leicester have obviously got no European football. Vardy's got no international football. That guy is just going to be just lapping up the goals, and he's currently on a run of 7 in his last 5, scoring each of those last 5. So can he beat his record from their title-winning season?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's impressive. What I like about Leicester, when Iosi Perez moved to Newcastle, I thought. He's a good player. He looks quite good, and I don't think Newcastle used him. He links up with Vardy so well. Like him and Maddison play really well off Vardy.
But they are 2 purple patchy players, more so Perez.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think it's because obviously Perez got his hat-trick a few weeks back. He's in a very strong run of form, and Vardy is reasonably consistent, but has obviously a propensity to have some purple patches. So yeah, they're all about it at the moment. But yeah, so Leicester really just had a lot of clear-cut chances. Their XG on this was 3.5, and they really should have done a lot better.
I was going to say, you obviously called out the Arsenal stats at home getting outshot by a relegation rival team, but Brighton, they're playing Leicester. Brighton didn't have a shot on target. Leicester had 19. Leicester had 19 shots. Brighton had 7. Leicester had 9 shots on target. Brighton had none.
Oh dear. And look at this. Brighton just left themselves open. The amount of counter-attacks. Come on.
But it's what they did against United as well, isn't it? When Brighton played Man United.
Yeah.
They left themselves wide open. and it's
Yeah.
you know how they're going to play. You know that Leicester and Man United both rely on pace to go on the
Yeah,
counter.
they need that space. Yeah.
So, but Brendan Rodgers, he's
Oh man, imagine this as a Liverpool fan out there. This is probably a thing of nightmares. But because it's still weird seeing Leicester in second place,
yeah,
but imagine if they were pipped to the post by Leicester, managed by Brendan Rodgers.
it would be epic.
Oh my God, I don't think it's going to happen because I think it's kind of like predetermined that Liverpool are going to win this. It's just Liverpool are just they're mentally absolutely on it, and it reminds me of that last season because their results didn't seem sustainable, yet somehow they're being sustained. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely credit to Brendan Rodgers, credit to Leicester. They're very good to watch. It does have very much similarities to when they won the league, didn't it? In that people know how they play but don't set up to stop it.
Well, yeah. We spoke about
Everyone's
how Brighton have just gone, we'll just play to our strengths.
Everyone's still sort of like, oh, it's only Leicester, like. But yeah,
and it's amazing they've still got the 80 million in the bank from the Maguire sale, haven't they? Literally, it's interesting to see where they'll actually spend it. Will they actually buy a centre back? They don't need to. Their first choice two are doing really well, so it's interesting to see how they will go about spending that. Will they twist in January? Do you think to really try and solidify that title challenge? And do anything?
I think Brendan Rodgers will have one or two players on his radar, and I think they'll sign one, but it will be nowhere near that sort of money. They'll pocket most of that 80 million for the bank, I think, at the club, and rightly so, because like you say, they had Sonchu was a ready-made replacement, it seems. So yeah.
Right. So we've mentioned him briefly, but we'll go into the Diego Cavalieri derby, who never actually played a league game in England, but obviously was at Palace and Liverpool for a season each.
Was he? He was Brazilian goalkeeper, wasn't he?
He's got 3 caps for Brazil. So
3 caps for Brazil and none in the Premier League. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palace away probably got to be one of the outside of the top 6 facing each other. It's probably, do you reckon, the toughest match for Leicester in there, but it's probably one of the toughest matches for a side to go. So Liverpool getting a win here is pretty damn impressive, I think.
Yeah. Would I agree with that? I'm trying to think about who's the tough side to go away from home. Yeah, there's not that. Wolves would probably be quite tough at home. Yeah, Palace is a good game.
But Palace is almost disproportionate to their actual ability, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely is. So
yeah, probably for a bottom half side, if you want to call them that.
Yeah. You know, you were saying before about Southampton being on like conceding that 96th minute and a late goal is relegation. Sort of, that's what happens to relegation teams. Winning a game like this as Liverpool when you don't play very well and you still win is the sign of a title-winning team, really.
Yeah, seeing it flash up, Liverpool scored in like the 86th minute. I was like, I expected to see Origi's name, but it was Firmino. But yeah, I mean, we obviously have that where Palace thought they had scored just before half time. I would say so. Ayew pushed the player and it was ruled out, and I think it's a harsh decision, but it's also a stupid decision from Ayew. Don't push him. You brought yourself there.
It's very strange. It was soft, but yeah, the idiocy is with the player, not anything else. So I agree with that. Mane took his goal very well. Obviously, Palace would have been delighted to go in at 0-0 at half time, but Mane, they just sort of came out firing and thought it seemed like Klopp's half-time tea talk would have just been, "Oh my God, we're so much better than this. What are we doing?"
Yeah, Mane. I mean, Mane is such a weird player. Really is. Misses a clear chance and scores an absolute bumbling effort. It's just but yeah, can you see past? I mean, at the moment we'll have this update weekly, but I can't see past the Liverpool title win.
No, annoyingly, I can't see past it. I'd rather Man City won the league than Liverpool, I think now. But I mean Leicester. That's who I really want to win it. But no, I can't see past the Liverpool title win. 8 points at Christmas. Well, near Christmas ish. It's November, David. It's not near Christmas.
Yeah.
They could always implode. They could do it because they don't have.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And they have now. Yeah. They now embark on this run of games, and the situation they find themselves in is games behind rather than points on the board. I always say it's better to have points on the board than games in hand.
Yeah,
that's one of my mottos in life.
It is. I'm pretty sure you said it all to us in your team talk at the five-a-side football that you organised.
Yeah, and so they will find themselves having that puts pressure on, because if you know they've got, they may have 2 or 3 games in hand, knowing they have to win those, and so City will see themselves on top or whatever at that point in time. They might not see themselves on top if the gap's that big, but it adds that little layer of pressure, and it will make it interesting them having this
Club World Cup thing.
Club World Cup.
Do you think it will destabilise them?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Enough. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're travelling, and who knows? I don't know what quality of pitch is like. It might be an injury occurs, or it's just an unwanted distraction.
A question, actually. Do you reckon they're under obligations to field a strong team in the Club World Cup? Because obviously they've got their Carling Cup thing, and Jurgen Klopp said he's going to play the kids. Why didn't you do it the other way around? Yeah. Send the kids out to Qatar and.
Yeah, it's interesting. There may be
stay in England. There must be obligations for it.
I mean, it is a ludicrous tournament anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's some ludicrous rules attached to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting point, Dave. All right, we'll move on to the Stephen Naismith derby. Stephen Naismith obviously scored a perfect hat-trick for Everton against Chelsea, and then was promptly signed by Norwich, and really didn't achieve much more.
No, he didn't. Yeah.
No. Right. Standout thing in this match, if anybody is watching this match and you take away the EVE-NOR from the top left-hand corner, in the future, will anyone know this was Norwich playing in a bloody red kit?
I know, yeah.
Who is going to know that was Norwich? We're like, who is this team? You're watching this on Premier League years. What is this?
When were Northampton in the Premier League?
Yeah, what is this? Yeah, but I mentioned earlier, Norwich have got their centre-backs back, and it looks a completely different kettle of fish, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Zimmerman just seems to make a big difference back there.
Yeah.
Like, he's, big German guy, looks great on the ball. And is it enough to save them? Potentially, but Well,
they've got Arsenal at home next, Southampton away, and then Sheffield United at home. They are, if they can get 6 points out of that, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be very good. So, shout out to Cantwell. Is it Todd? Yeah, Todd Cantwell. He's I hate him on Football Manager. If anyone watches my other channel on YouTube, little plug, Cultured Left Foot, go and check it out. He's the most infuriating player in my Norwich tean that I've got, and I want to sell him. So yeah.
What's wrong with him?
He gets an 8.8 rating in one game, and then he'll go on a run of getting like 5. It's just not having it.
Can't be dealing with that.
Get rid.
You've got to really, whip me into shape, Dave.
Exactly. So, but yes, Everton were shocking, weren't they? So,
yeah, as I mentioned earlier, their run of games. Next set of league games, I think they've also got Leicester twice because of Carabao Cup. They've got Leicester away, Liverpool away, Chelsea at home, Man United away, Burnley at home, Newcastle away, City away. That takes them up to January 1st.
Oh.
Yeesh.
Yeah. If we touched on it before about the sackings, when Everton sack Marco Silva, is that the end of his time in the Premier League, you reckon, as a Premier League manager? Because I know I said West Ham might go for him, but he has now had Watford and Everton and
Hull,
and it's all ended pretty crap. So
yeah, I would say that he's eroded away any kind of foreign manager goodwill that he did have.
Yeah.
I mean, this by that run of games. Everton find themselves in 15th. That's kind of relegation zone.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've talked about Norwich having. So obviously Norwich closed the gap on them because they're beneath them. So Norwich are now in 18th, but on 10 points, 4 points ahead of them are Everton. It could easily switch completely round, and by that means Everton's had a more favourable run of results in their 13 games up to now. If they're facing both sides now, so it's dark times for Everton, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I've been desperately trying to think of a Watford and Burnley player, but you'll have one.
Oh, this is a former Manchester United winger.
Oh my God, who? Tom Cleverley.
Similar hairstyle to Cantwell. Probably also wore an Alice band. Still playing. 34 years old. Plays for Oldham.
Oh my God, who the hell is this?
Chris Eagles.
Oh, Chris Eagles. Oh, yeah. Fucking hell. It was absolutely amazing on Champ Manager, wasn't he? The early Champ Mans. Like, really early, yeah.
Watford on loan, then obviously played for Burnley, well, probably most games I've been in anyone in his career, yes. I think it's a bit harsh on Watford. The scoreline was a bit harsh. The result, maybe not, because Watford threw everything they had at Burnley and didn't really make a dent, did they? They're a little bit toothless.
It's just... Watford at the moment,
they're shit.
They're shit, and they seem to be focused so much on sort of controlling the ball and having the possession and not really doing much with it. Like it seems like Sanchez Flores has gone in there with the, if the opposition don't have the ball, then we can't concede, and that's fine.
Yeah, it was very much a
until they do
stabilising
score.
sort of defence out. I mean, it's like I say all the time. It's that sliding scale. They've slid it right down. They slid it right down to don't concede, and then they lose 3-0 to Burnley. And this is Burnley. Burnley've got 2 3-0 wins in a row. This is unheard of.
Yeah, up
it's
to
their first
6.
away win of the season
Is
as well.
It 6 they're up to now?
They're up to 6 now, are
Something
they?
like that. Yeah.
Shit, they're bed.
Yeah, I mean that's how close the league has been, though, isn't it? Because they were
They
down
are
there
in
as
6th,
well.
yeah.
They were down there near the bottom, and
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a lot of teams, aren't they? So there's 6 points separate 16th.
8 points separate 17th and 5th.
Yeah.
Like Man United in 10th.
Lovely.
If we win, we go 6th. We go 5th if we win today.
You're not winning. You're not winning that.
Oh, we'll get onto that. In just a second because we've only got one more game to go through. But yeah, Burnley again. Chris Woods, Ashley Barnes, bloody have 2 big men up there. Put it in the box. Why not? I mean,
yeah, it is. It is just rinse and repeat, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not. And I keep posing this question to a number of different clubs. Like I pose it to kind of Bournemouth fans and Palace fans. Does it get tiring? Does it get like the lack of it's just about maintaining that constant? So is it to Burnley fans? Do they go, obviously just do they do like Palace did a few years back and twist and try and go for a Frank de Boer and it really doesn't work? But obviously, but I don't know. Does it get a bit mundane?
probably
Burnley
not.
fan?
I don't think so. Burnley fans would argue to you they're flying high in 6th. What's mundane about that? Doesn't matter how you get there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I would take it. As at the moment, I would take a mundane season and have Man United in 6th. So
You may be up there by the end of today, Dave.
yeah. I know it'll be good. But
well done, Burnley and Watford. Obviously sitting low on the bottom of the table. I at the moment can't see a way out for them.
No, and with the goal difference as well is an extra point lost. Minus 18.
Yeah, both Southampton, Watford, and minus 18.
Yeah,
Points separates them. Yeah, they need to if they want to keep this a battle. They need to be winning. I mean, they need to win games soon, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. Yeah. But right.
Let's go to George Weir Derby. See, it sounds really weird to say, doesn't it? Because George, I obviously remember him, but it does not seem like it was a memorable time for him in his career.
Yeah, I don't remember him at Man City. I do remember Chelsea signing him. Yeah, but
he was there.
Okay, I trust you, Josh. I trust you. Just before we get into the main crux of the game, N'Golo Kante likes to score against big teams or bigger teams.
It is strange because I do feel like he's not he's not the most technically gifted of players, but he does do all right.
Yeah.
For someone we've always criticised, going, "Oh, come on, you're not a goal scorer. Let's put him back." He doesn't do too bad in front of goal.
No. But anyway, a big win for Man City. Needed this, didn't they? Because Chelsea would have leapfrogged them, I think, if Chelsea won. So it was a good win. Mahrez comes in for suspended Bernardo Silva, I think it was, scores a goal. Kevin De Bruyne having a good overview of the game, really sort of controlled it. VAR, what do you think about Raheem Sterling VAR? Have you seen it?
I've seen it, but I'm actually growing to accept it because it's like there's got to be a line drawn somewhere. But I don't know how to rewrite the rule to make this not a point. But it's not a VAR issue because I don't have these issues in other leagues. But I think it's the way we're interpreting it. But I don't know how to because no matter where you draw a line, there's always going to be a point where people argue over it. But he's gained no advantage whatsoever from his armpit being ahead of his arse. It's just, I agree. It's annoying, but if that just becomes the consistent point and we keep this as the baseline forevermore, people will grow to accept it because it's just the situation it is.
Yeah, it is, and it's a shame to see it like that because VAR should be so much better and simpler.
It should be. It really should be doing these things. But if it irons out all the other ones, and this is what we were left with, just this fine lines to talk about, then it's done a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Chelsea played well first half. They did really well.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard has got them playing very well again. So he's doing a very good job. As you say, I think. Well, you said it all the time, didn't you? Chelsea fans lowered their expectations, and now everything's rosy and sunny and going really well. So it's good. It's good for them. It's good to see it. It's good to see it like that. And would you, if you were a Chelsea fan, would you have been disappointed to lose that game with the first half?
A little bit. Yeah,
played?
a little bit. So. I think they played really well, and this is the lowest ever possession that Pep had in a match.
Yeah, 46% or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it just showed the importance of Jorginho for Chelsea. But yeah, I think it shows how far they've come this season, how far ahead of a curve they are with Frank Lampard, doesn't it? That they can be positioned away at City, the reigning champions, to be disappointed not to get more out of it. So
yeah,
it reflects well on how their season's gone. And yes, they would like to get more, but you can't be too downhearted losing to the reigning champions.
Very true, especially with such a good performance like that as well. So
yes,
it was good. So very quickly then, today's game is Man United travelling to Sheffield to play Sheffield United. So what do you don't think we're going to get anything, or do you think we're going to get a draw?
I think you might get. Yeah, you might get something, but I don't know. I just feel like Rashford might make a difference, and it would be a draw. But I think Sheffield United will have your number.
3-0. We're going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am confident.
Oh.
So yeah.
Why?
Because I think Sheffield United will play similar. I think they'll do what Brighton did, and they won't change their game, thinking they've got a free hit against us, and I think we'll counter attack them and catch them out. Martial, Rashford, Dan James. I think we'll do fine.
Okay. All right. Put your
and
money on it, people.
Villa Newcastle tomorrow, very quickly. 0-0.
Ooh, the Brucey bonus. Who's at home? Villa.
Villa home, yeah.
I think it might be a draw, and Villa pressure builds for Villa because they are lingering there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Alan St. Maximin to get a goal.
I've just signed him in fantasy football, so I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So.
All right.
Well, Josh, you know what time it is, so.
Hit me.
Here comes the wiki file. I got a wiki file. Here comes a wiki file for you. Hey, right. It is wiki files time, and Josh has sent me what I can only assume is a Frenchman. He starts his career in 97-98 at Jeux Le Tour.
Oh, très bien.
4 goals in 32 appearances. He then moves to Tours. 98-99, 3 goals in 26 appearances. 99-2000, he moves to Guingamp. Is that right? 1 in 32.
I'll take it.
You take it. He gets a big money move then? Probably not, to PSG.
No.
2000-2002, 28 appearances, 0 goals. He got a loan move to Newcastle in that time. 2001-2002, 28 appearances, 0 goals. 2002-2007, Man City, 178 appearances, 5 goals. I'm thinking defensive midfielder, maybe a defender. 2007-2009, Portsmouth, 77. Oh, I know who this is. Yeah, Portsmouth, 77 appearances, 0 goals. 2009-2015, Everton, 174 appearances, 2 goals. And he finished his career at Bournemouth in the 2015-2016 season, 12 appearances, 0 goals. That, my friend, is Sylvain Distin.
It is Sylvain Distin. Well done, Dave. Because do you know what surprised me? I think there was a Bournemouth-Newcastle match a week, and I could have used this as a Sylvain Distin derby. Yeah. But I'd completely forgot of that low move to Newcastle.
Yeah, I remember him slightly at Newcastle, but it's the Man City, Portsmouth, Everton trio is what flagged it up for me. So, yeah, Sylvain Distin. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, Sylvain Distin, good player. I think Man City time was a little bit. I don't know. It wasn't peak Man City, but he really solidified himself as a top class centre back at Everton, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he did. He was very, very solid in that Everton. Next to Phil Jagielka, mainly. They both did very well in that Everton team. So, Josh, back to the quiz then.
Yes.
So
I've posed a question. Excluding the top 6, name the most valuable 11 as per transfer market in the Premier League. Dave has named the defence and one midfielder. He's named Jordan Pickford, Ben Chilwell, Nathan Ake, Issa Diop, Ricardo Pereira and Ruben Neves. And also, Wilfried Zaha as well. So he's left with another defensive central midfielder, attacking midfielder, a left winger and a striker. Dave, hit me.
Striker, I've gone Jamie Vardy.
No, you're not having a party.
It's not Jamie Vardy. Oh, wow, I had that nailed on. I didn't even put a question mark.
This player was a big money move this summer. So maybe he isn't worth that, but they paid it.
Oh, wow. Oh, Joe Linton.
No.
Wesley.
No.
Oh, my God. How many strikers moved for ridiculous money this year?
I think this is probably the biggest of them. Maybe similar to Joe Linton money, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
A striker in the top 6. Oh, Raul Jimenez.
Outside. No.
Oh, my God. What on
Oh,
earth
you're
is
going to go
this?
through the same club as the central midfielder you can't name, actually.
Wilfred Ndidi. Central midfielder.
No.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous.
He should be up there. He's a
He should be. Cracking player.
Yeah.
I am struggling.
You're getting stuck there. So what about left winger, attacking midfielder?
Oh, I've got Ryan Fraser written down, but that would be more right wing. So.
No.
Um.
Again, this player, the left winger, has moved for big money. The attacking midfielder has been spoke about being moved for big money.
Oh,
Manchester
James
United,
Maddison.
James Maddison, yes. The left winger has been similar to Marco Silva, kind of failed upwards. It seems a little bit. People are a bit aghast of how he managed to sign for this club for so much money.
Perez?
No.
Oh, Yarmolenko. No, he was a free. I'm really struggling here. Oh, it's not Alex Iwobi, is it?
It's not Alex. Same club, though.
Everton. Oh, Richarlison.
So you're left with two players. You're left with... so at the moment we've got Pickford, Chilwell, Ake, Diop, Pereira. In defence and goalkeeper, Ruben Neves in midfield, partnered by insert English centre midfielder here. In front of him is Richarlison, James Maddison, and Wilfried Zaha, and then up front is insert French striker here. Both missing players play for the same club.
English holding midfielder.
Yeah.
Signed for big money.
No, he's never signed for big money.
Oh, okay.
He is potential.
The
striker was signed for big money,
and they both play for the same club. No, I'm drawing
all right,
a blank,
we'll go. I'll tell you, it is Declan Rice and Sebastian Haller.
Oh man,
yeah, you knew it. You
yeah,
know
it
it.
was in there. Fucking hell, so close.
Good side, that.
Yeah, it's a decent side. It would be interesting to see that play. To be honest, yeah. Very nice, Josh.
Young as well.
Very nice.
Well
Very nice
done.
quiz.
Well done.
So. Yeah, is that it? I think that's it.
Yeah, just quickly, Super 6. I forgot to submit my team, my predictions this week. And so I am now no longer reigning at the top of the table. Tom Hennigan is top with 179. I'm second with 164. And it's Derek Murphy, 150. Shivam Kaylee at 149, Carl at 136, Owen at 99, Dave at 95, and Samuel Bettany at 52.
Yes, I'm off the bottom.
You are off the bottom, just
yes.
with Owen in your sights.
Yeah.
Keep it going, people.
I'm coming for you. All right.
Right. Well, we'll leave it there and until next week. So thank you for listening this week. It has been a pleasure catching up after a 2-week break. You can find us on YouTube at Football Talk. Leave us a comment, leave us a like, subscribe. You can also listen to us on SoundCloud and on Spotify. All details found on our Twitter feed at Football Talk. But remember,
there's no A in football.
No, I am football, but give us a follow, interact with us. We post things throughout the week and we'll always interact with you. So give us a like and listen, subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.